Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. A week and a half ago or so, I looked at the Indians' schedule and I saw 6 games against Detroit and 4 against Texas. And I said if they would win 8 out of the 10, they would be right back in the AL Central race, knowing that they would then have Kansas City, as they do tonight, along with Baltimore and then Cincinnati before the All-Star break, and then Minnesota coming directly out of the break. You don't think the Twins have been scoreboard watching, do you? The Indians have been getting phenomenal pitching in the starting rotation, and surprisingly, they have the best bullpen in baseball. Kipnis and Ramirez have remembered how to hit. They're now down to 8 games behind the Twins, and if they can just whittle down 2 or 3 more before the All-Star break, I think they're going to catch the Minnesota Twins. We've got Anthony-Lima from 92.3 The Fan. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Monday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into our 23rd year, soon to be 24, and seen exclusively on cleveland.com. To my right, Anthony-Lima, 92.3 The Fan, is with us. How do you sit? Well, I know this question. I know the answer. You and Ken Carmen, is there somebody on the right, the left? Is there some reason to, it's radio, so is there any reason to put you in one chair over the other?
Honestly, the chairs that we're actually sitting in have more to do with the hosts who were there before us and the rotation of those hosts as they were outgoing.
Oh, so like on a Sunday night,
yeah.
They're not local people. So when's the last time somebody would be on? Sunday morning?
Sometime, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. But no, we've been in the same situation, and the ratings are good, so why mess up with it?
Right.
You know, why do anything? Now, once the ratings tank, we're going to have to change everything.
Well, he gets to watch, from the way the studio is, he gets to watch people, like if the big wigs are coming down the hall, he sees it, it becomes a surprise to you.
It's never good when he says, why is the HR guy here walking outside? He's never supposed to be on the side of the building.
Or pacing on the outside.
Never a good thing.
What's new at 92.3 The Fan?
Oh, we're having fun. We just wrapped up all our NBA draft coverage, and are we 11 weeks away before NFL football? Is that how close we are? I mean, this thing is pumping quick. And
you mean you're talking about training camp?
Yeah. Well, no, training camp's even sooner than that. I mean, training camp.
No, it can't be 11 weeks.
Right. No, but 11 weeks till the actual games, or maybe till preseason. Either way, I mean, it's right around the corner, and nobody does football like us. At least that's what I was told to say.
Can you not wait till football starts, or can you wait?
Okay, people got mad at me because on social media, I would say roughly a month ago, after the latest round of Odell Beckham, what fans call non-stories about OTAs, and even Joe Thomas backed him up, and then it was the Baker Mayfield, Duke Johnson thing. Eventually, I said, you know what? I know the hype is great. I know the anticipation's great. This is the happiest Browns fans have been in forever.
So don't change it and have a game.
I said the opposite. I said I'm actually ready for the games, and that's why people got upset at me. But I am. I'm ready for the games because, or at least training camp. And normally training camp is not a big deal to me whatsoever. Every year I downplay training camp because the fans go out there, the Cleveland media that are there, that's all they see. They don't go to Pittsburgh's training camp.
Right.
And so all the stories are uber positive coming out of training camp.
Yeah, they look great.
In 32 cities. But we know now in reality that's never the case.
That all being said, you can't get enough of football right now. Can't get enough. I'm talking basketball ad nauseum at this point, and I don't know why. But baseball is reality, and it's happening now. Tell me your thoughts on Bobby Bradley and his debut on Sunday.
First of all, we have not talked this much baseball in a long time, and I think it's because they didn't just walk away with the division. When the Indians are in first place in a bad division, what is the discussion? It's
Nothing.
only
Don't
about...
let anybody get hurt.
Don't let anybody get hurt. Are we going to get an MVP winner or a Cy Young winner? Who's going to make the All-Star game? And then, you know, can we beat those huge teams? Can we beat the Yankees? Can we beat the Red Sox? Can we beat the Astros? This year it's been totally different. We have had daily discussions about the Indians, so in a way, them struggling has had us talk more about the Indians than ever before.
Somebody told me that Francisco-Lindor did not get a lot of votes in Cleveland because the fans have already resigned to the fact that he'll be gone. Any truth to that?
All right. There are a lot of theories on this, and we talked about it this morning. You know, whether or not Cleveland should be embarrassed that they weren't able to get him in the top 3. Baseball totally changed change their all-star voting this year. I thought it was with good intentions because what they wanted to do, unfortunately unintended consequences, what they wanted to do is get rid of what the Royals were able to do a few years ago where they had 8 guys that they tried to vote in as starters.
Won't somehow, some way, Lindor be somehow miraculously put on that team?
Yes, I'd be stunned if Francisco-Lindor, and lately he's been playing like an all-star. Unfortunately, there's a logjam at that position. The Correa injury, it makes it interesting. He should, that should propel Francisco-Lindor up at least a spot. I do think he gets in, but I find it hard to believe, even if you think it's inevitable that he's leaving, even if you hated what Dolan said at the beginning of the year on STO about enjoy him, maybe the foolhardy, although very honest comments that he had at the start of the year on opening day. Even if you agree with all that, you can't convince me that somebody actively went on their phones as they vote now. They don't have the hanging chads anymore, the paper ballots, and voted for Carlos-Santana and not Francisco-Lindor.
Hard to believe.
I just think Santana got more national votes because that position is weaker. Maybe because he played in Philly, although I'd be inclined to think that Philly fans did not vote for him. He had a bad year last year. And that Francisco-Lindor, it was a tougher sell at shortstop.
All right, tell me about Bobby Bradley. How long have you been pulling for him to come here?
Since about the 5th home run he hit in the International League, and then he went on to hit 19 more.
Right.
So it was way past time. And I'm telling you, I think they screwed this up, the Indians, in some ways. I mean, those are the numbers that he put up. He leads the International League. Do you know last year, the leader in all of the IL in home runs was at 24, I think. And he's at 24 right now in half a season. And so for them to me, those are all wasted home runs.
Don't you think
he wasn't getting any better in the minor leagues?
Don't you think they had to wait till everybody, the outfield shook out and you had room to?
Like how much time did you need to know that Hanley Ramirez and Carlos Gonzalez?
Well, you didn't need time there, but
you
you also didn't need that much time on Martin. I know everybody felt sorry for him for what happened health-wise last year. The guy can't play.
Right, he couldn't play. It was painfully obvious. And look, if I'm going to get a lack of production from an outfielder, I'd rather have it be Bobby Bradley. Let him take the lumps up now. I don't understand this notion that the Indians, people were telling me, well, you know, what if Mercado was up day one? What if he would have had struggles early on? So we're just going to say that the Indians, the exact moment they call up these players every single time is perfection.
It is in the pitching staff, by the way.
It seems like whoever they bring up in the pitching staff is able to go.
Unbelievable.
But to me, it was absolutely a waste that Bobby Bradley hit all those home runs in the minors.
All right.
And yeah, he's going to struggle, by the way. People are getting ahead of themselves about how good he's going to be. He's going to strike out a ton. I'm okay with that.
I'm totally glad he's here, but let's not overdo what he did his first time up. He hit a ball to the left field side, and it was totally misplayed.
Oh, don't be that guy, Les. Don't be that guy. Can't you enjoy it? So what, is he supposed to throw the ball back?
It was a great at-bat, but the ball should have been caught. And I'd still be for him starting at the 6th or 7th spot in the lineup.
Yeah, that's fine.
But what you need Kipnis and you need Ramirez to do stuff, which they've been doing the last 3 games.
The Kipnis thing is amazing. I don't think anybody, even the biggest shill of an Indians fan who's always chock full of blind hope, even you could not have predicted that Jason Kipnis would be on this tear. And we kind of laughed last week. Jason Kipnis said he has the ability in baseball to get as hot as anybody and says he can make up for a bad season in like 2 weeks.
Can.
Okay, I'm going to need more than 2 weeks out of Jason
3.
Kipnis. But this has been pretty amazing. I don't even think Kipnis' family predicted that he would come out of it like this. Look, give him credit.
He's playing for a contract.
He's had 2 seasons plus of rumors and speculation about him potentially being traded. So for him to finally kick in gear, they needed it.
216-575-0403. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine with new content posted each and every day. We got a great Facebook question today, which we'll check out a little bit later. When we come back, we're going to find out what Mike Macetta is thinking from Nature's Stone. Wow, it's Nature's Stone. That comes your way in a moment. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Let's check out birthdays for today, June 24th, 2019. Jack Dempsey, born in this state back in the other century. Sam Jones of the Boston Celtics. Rick O'Shea, great rebounder. Doug Jones, who threw the ball about 6 miles an hour maybe, out of the bullpen.
Yeah, but a couple of years, he was right at the top of Major League Baseball in saves.
Lionel Messi and Bradley Chubb, all born on the 24th of June. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Sometimes we revert back to oldies but goodies. This is one of the classic How Come Quickies. How come a skier Peekaboo Street donated money to a hospital section? It would be called Peekaboo ICU.
That is a classic. I think anybody under the age of 30 has no idea who Peekaboo Street is.
Including my entire crew in the back.
They think it's one of your made-up birthday names.
Right. We check it out to make sure spelling is right, and they say, I would laugh if I had any idea who Peekaboo Street was. So that's what I deal with. 216-575-0403. Mike Macetta standing by. We ready to go to Mike? Yeah. Let's say hi to Mike. Mike Macetta. Wow, it's Nature Stone. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Les. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you? We've got Anthony-Lima, 92.3 The Fan is with us. And by the way,
Anthony, it's a pleasure.
I tell you this every year at around Father's Day when you guys run that ad in the Plain Dealer, cleveland.com, about, it's your grandfather, Yaya Macetta, and that name... Anthony, if you talk about people don't know, under 30, don't know Peekaboo Street, Mike's grandfather, one of the best, probably top 3 great softball players in this city.
And Les is an almanac when it comes to the local softball scene.
Well, sort of.
Don't you hang out in Euclid all the time at the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, just to see if they put me in. No question about that.
Still waiting.
All right, Mike, what do you want to talk? Listen, this is only a baseball topic for tonight. I think I've predicted the Indians are going to somehow catch Minnesota because they've got 3 games with them once the All-Star break comes and goes. And I just think they're getting, we mentioned Kipnis, we mentioned Ramirez starting to hit. Anything that he hits is an improvement. And the pitching coming from Columbus is unbelievable. And then there's Bobby Bradley. So what are you thinking?
Well, we talked a couple weeks ago, and I said, look, let's get them to within, 6-7 games before the All-Star break, and then we'll see what happens from there. And, Minnesota, they were hitting the heck out of the ball. I don't know that they have the pitching to overcome it when they don't hit, because hitting goes in slumps. And so they're going through a slump right now. They're losing some games. I don't know that they have the pitching to overcome that, whereas the Indians, they've got the pitching. Like you said, they got kids coming up from Columbus that are as good as the guys that they have in the rotation. And they're doing a phenomenal job. They're getting good pitching. So you don't know what's going to happen. You got to let it play out. You got to see what's going to happen. I agree with you. I think they're going to catch them, and I think they're going to overtake them for the division.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, and Anthony brought it up, that the fans, the listeners to his show with Ken Carmen, they seem to be thinking that they're more excited if they can make a comeback than if they had the 8-game lead and they were trying to protect it. There's some excitement and reason to go to the ballpark.
I think, oddly enough, fans are more engaged this season because they got down on the team. They weren't happy about the offseason. But in a way, it's kind of the comeback story that we love in sports. Granted, you'd love to just sit there on your perch and have the huge lead. But this makes it a little more interesting. If they're able to carve away at this over the course of the next month and a half, it could lead to some really exciting baseball.
And certainly an exciting September.
Yeah, so, I agree 100%. It's more enjoyable as a fan to be involved in a pennant race than it is to be, 10, 15 games up going into September. You kind of know what's going to happen, and you're just sitting there waiting. That seems to be how the NBA is these days. Everybody knows which teams are going to make the playoffs, and ultimately, we kind of knew when the Cavs and the Warriors were playing who was going to end up being in the finals, and you just sort of waited it out until then. But with the Indians, yeah, it is kind of nice to be winning games having a good season, but kind of be that underdog coming up from behind to try to catch Minnesota.
Help me out on this, because I think I'm the only one who has this. Anthony and Ken have this. I have a theory. I think I'm the only one with this theory. That is, don't break up the team. You may need to if you want to compete. If you want to compete, but the reality is that if you thought you were good enough to beat Minnesota this year, you certainly should think you're better next year. So why would you want to break it up? Because as Mike says, they're getting unbelievable pitching and hitting rather. And if you're the Indians, if you don't break it up, you should be better than them next year.
The only thing I would say, Mike, is that I've used the term retooling. I don't like to use the term rebuilding, because I don't know that they'd be doing that just by trading Trevor Bauer. You might be doing that by trading Brad Hand. Okay?
No, but the Trevor Bauer thing, and Mike, jump in any time here. What's happening is when you talked about Trevor Bauer at the beginning of the year, you didn't know about Bieber, you didn't know about Plesac, you didn't know about these guys, and I know that it's a small sample size, but they sure look like they're the real deal.
So for me personally, so they have two what I would consider tradable commodities at pitcher in Brad Hand and Trevor Bauer. You could throw Kluber in there, but Kluber's hurt because of the fact that they have all these kids coming up. But these kids that are coming up are primarily starters. So the Kluber-Bauer thing seems a little bit more realistic than Brad Hand. I would not personally trade Brad Hand right now. You know, and I could be way off on this, but he's the best closer in baseball. And you have this group of young pitchers coming off. They're going to have bad games here and there, and you're going to need the bullpen to be able to get you through some of those games. And the Indians have already proven that they're not going to hit all year. Their lineup's going to go hot and cold. So that bullpen is a strength of theirs right now, and I would not break that up. The starting pitching has been so good that they are bringing these kids up, the Plesacs and so forth that are coming up from Columbus. They can go 5 deep when Clevenger comes back, Carrasco comes back from injury, Kluber's coming back. It looks like a little bit early now. You can afford to trade a guy like Trevor Bauer, and your team is probably going to be better for it. You could actually trade a guy like Trevor Bauer, who's one of the best starting pitchers in baseball. You know, and you could pick up a starter, a true starting outfielder that you could put out there on an everyday basis and give you another right-handed bat in the lineup. That's going to make your team a better team overall, even though you lost a starting pitcher that was pretty good.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that.
For me, I would look at Bauer being the one that I trade. Also, Bauer makes those comments all the time about the one-year deals and so on and so forth, which that's fine if that's how he wants to operate. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if that's what he wants to do, you know, you can use him exactly the way he's using you. You use him to make your team better. And like what Ryan was saying, you're retooling. You're not restarting it. You're retooling it, and you're getting better in positions of need where you have an overabundance of players.
Let me tell you how my mind thinks about this. I'd like to think that if you name a player's name from 1927, I can tell you if they played for the Indians or not. But I also know that this kid who pitched the other day, I will never remember his name, and I'll.
Svengali?
Yeah, see, you too, right?
Yeah, no.
I mean, he could go 5-1 here, help him to the pennant, and I can't get myself into the mood to remember his name. Help me out. Anybody know his name?
It started with a C.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember what.
He needs a bigger sample size so I can know who he is.
Yeah, but he was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right, anything else on your mind tonight?
Well, just with you on the Indians all the way, I think that, you know, they've cut it to 8. You know, they've got a really easy part of their schedule right now. If they can continue on this pace, I think that they catch the Twins, and I think they catch them sooner rather than later. Because if that lineup goes into a slump, Les, I'm telling you, the Twins do not have the pitching staff to be able to compete. And if it goes into a slump and they're not beating teams 9-1, 9-5, or whatever it is, you know, they're going to struggle big time.
How about that they just picked up Cody Allen?
Who did, the Twins?
Yeah, he was having a horrible year.
Oh, gosh. He's had a horrible 3 years. So they're looking for lightning in a bottle with him, and I don't think
Right.
they're going to
Well, I
find
don't
it.
blame him. I don't blame him for trying that.
It's 90 miles an hour.
Yeah. All right, we got to go, Mike. As always, you gave that tribute to him on Father's Day, and congratulations on that. And of course, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Wow, it's Nature Stone, and we love Yaya. He was the best, man. We love him. Wish he was still here.
Excellent. Good to talk to you, Mike. As
All right.
always, we'll see you
Thanks,
soon.
guys.
Northfield Park is your place for live and simulcast racing. You can catch all the excitement of live harness racing, and you can do that every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday with a post time of 6 p.m. Open early every day for simulcast action from all over the world. Lady Luck's Clubhouse open Saturday with a buffet just $15.95, and of course it's free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. Coming up, we'll be hearing from Sione-Takitaki, who is not from Walla Walla or New York, New York, but he is a Cleveland Brown. Back in a moment, more sports and Les-Levine seen exclusively on cleveland.com with Anthony-Lima.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
My basement was a disaster. We tried carpet, we tried tile on our uneven basement floor, but nothing worked.
Moisture, dampness, even flooding will not harm Nature Stone. And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of June and save up to 50%. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Man, I wouldn't say just one. I've learned a lot just from, the players trying to become, becoming a professional at this level. Learned a lot from the coaches, playbook-wise, scheme-wise, things like that. But yeah, I've learned a lot, man. There's not really one thing. I would say just the whole overall picture of me being a rookie, being here at this great, organization, learning from everybody. So, learning. I would say the biggest is scheme-wise. Just learning a lot about that.
What do you have planned between now and training camp? Like, are you working out anywhere specific? Are you taking downtime? What are you doing?
I'm hitting it hard right now. They got us, the rookies here, staying till 28, doing workouts. So I'm hitting that hard. And then, the little stuff at home that I'm doing, a lot of yoga stuff, things like that. But I'm full tilt until, camp comes. Yeah.
What's been the biggest surprise of being through mini camp as a professional, or just being a professional?
The biggest surprise? Man, what's been the biggest surprise? Just how knit tight everything is, In college, you get away with little stuff here and there. I would say here, being in NFL now, everything, is being watched, the way you train, your nutrition, everything. So I feel like that's the biggest, thing that's kind of been opening my eyes. But I've been handling it well. I'm the type of guy that, attacks everything about football. So I feel like I'm doing well in that category.
Has it sunk in that you're this close to an NFL training camp yet?
Yeah, I feel like with time I'm still adjusting to it all. But yeah, when I saw guys like OBJ, Landry, Garrett, Myles Garrett in my locker room, I felt like I was like, dang, I'm really here, I'm really a guy now. They brought me in to contribute to this team, so it's exciting.
Does that motivate you to keep working, like in attacking football like you do?
Oh yeah. Seeing those guys, you know, the way they carry themselves, you know, no TAs and all that stuff, the way they train, definitely motivates me. You know, I love this game, love everything about it, so it definitely encourages me to do even more than I'm already doing.
Anthony-Lima with us from Ken Carman Show with Anthony-Lima, 92.3 The Fan. You've been around sports long enough, pro, college, and all. They all seem like great guys. When do they become not so great?
Yeah, when they lose their first game. That's typically how it works. You know, it's interesting. I remember when Mickey Callaway was hired in New York, they were so excited about him, and fast forward a year and a half, and they're talking about firing him and making him sound like he doesn't know anything about baseball.
That's New York also.
You know, but that's what happens. Look, the one thing about Takitaki, the linebacking core, there are opportunities there. Jamie Collins no longer there. Barely ever seemed to flash. You know, Joe Schobert's been a Pro Bowler, but, you know, is he a dominant linebacker?
No.
Or is it just in coverage that he's able to play? So I think there are going to be opportunities, even though some of the pundits thought maybe that was a reach, that pick, where if he comes in, works hard, and, you know, can flash some of that talent, I think he's going to get some playing time with this team.
All right, the name Gil Brandt means something, correct?
Yes, legendary.
Legendary guy, so when he talks, people listen.
Yes.
All right, here's where before we put it up, where do you think he rates the Browns as having the most talented roster? Where do you think he has them out of 32 teams?
You know, most seem to think that the Browns, on paper right now, top 5, top 6 in the entire league in talent.
AFC and NFC.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at what Gil Brandt says on NFL.com. He's got him number 9. He's got the first 4 are NFC teams, and then the AFC breaks in. You agree or disagree in part?
Well, look, the New England Patriots, on paper, are not that talented. And I know that sounds crazy. You're going to go, what? You know when all said and done, they're going to be towards the Super Bowl. But it's so much more than talent. And this is the league where, yes, you need to have talent. Yes, you need to have a franchise quarterback. But you need to have so much more. I mean, even think about the Chargers. Chargers are absolutely loaded. They got a great season last year and then got blown out in the playoff game by the Patriots, who everybody said were not as talented as the Chargers. In this league, there's so much more than talent. And that's where I'm excited to see where the Browns fall this year when it comes to that.
Do you think the New England fans agree with that they really aren't that good, at least on paper, but somehow, some way?
Oh, I think they take pride in it. Yes, they love the fact that they're not the free agent winners every year. Yeah, sure, they'll go and take a chance on Randy Moss and obviously Josh Gordon, who's been seen working out. And my buddy Zach Jackson I got to give him a tip of the hat because he did say nobody catches more balls on Instagram in June than Josh Gordon. But in the end, yeah, you know, Gronk's out of there. Who knows if he tries to come back later in the year.
I bet he does.
He might, but I'm telling you, the average fan can name way more Cleveland Browns this year. In the NFL, not even from Cleveland.
Right.
The average fan of the NFL can name more Cleveland Browns this year than they can name New England Patriots.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Anthony-Lima with us. I haven't had a chance to speak with him since the NBA draft. We want to talk about that and more. John-Beilein and all kinds of changes over with the Cavaliers. So Gil Brandt has Cleveland's offense and defense, or total roster, as number 9, meaning 4 in the AFC are better than them. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. You can catch the excitement of that harness racing, and you can catch that every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as Saturday evening with a post time of 6 p.m. Open early at noon for simulcast action every day of the week. The weekly Sunday contest, top prize on the handicapping, $500 each week. That's in cash at Northfield Park, where it's free admission and free parking every day. Tomorrow night, Bud Shaw joins us. On Wednesday night, it'll be Jim Ingram. Then the D-Man, Dennis Maniloff, will be here, and it'll be on Thursday. The D-Man's still up in the air, and I mean flying high, because Rocky Colavito called him D-Man.
Oh, that had to be cool, right? This is amazing. So Colavito came on
the phone, but he was tremendous.
I hope it's not the curse of Les-Levine going forward.
Yeah, well, listen, that wouldn't be the first time this happened. Coming up, Cavaliers 2019 draft class and more when we get back. Anthony-Lima with us. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
I mean, I had a connection with Trishan since last summer. I mean, him just talking about the facilities and his coaching staff and the city itself. I mean, I heard a lot of great things about Cleveland, and I'm just excited to be here and just enjoy every minute with everybody. I believe that I'm a competitor. I love to win, and I really hate to lose. So, I mean, winning state championships, that means a lot. I mean, 4 in a row, that's really tough. So just having that mentality of just staying focused, staying locked in practice, I think that's just going to carry over into the big leagues.
I've talked to a lot of people that have watched your practices over the years, whether it was at Canisius or Lemoyne or whatever in high school, and said you do an inordinate amount of shooting early in the practice. Was that a common thread here in these 3 picks? Obviously, guys that can fire away.
If you follow any of the really successful teams, you know, you can just seeing more and more of it. So I think that obviously seeing Darius shoot it was really good. And not that you can play with a lot of different point guards and still win, but I felt as soon as and we felt collectively as soon as we got Darius with that type of ability. Now got to give him more space now, right? And the space comes from Dylan. So and so it's just having more shooters on the court. You know, still got to be able to know how to play, willing to defend, you know, have some quickness about them as well, and all these guys do. But the more shooters you got on the court, that's who's winning right now. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I wasn't too, caught up or worried on, whether I was going to get picked or not, things like that. I was just trying to, focus on myself and just help, Belmont be the best it can be, and ultimately, try to lead them in the NCAA tournament, which we did, and just try to become the best player I can be. And, if that, helps me end up, playing in the NBA and, get picked in the NBA draft, then that comes with it. But I was just trying to focus on myself and get better and try to be the best player that I could be. I didn't want to set too many expectations because, you get caught up on, numbers and this and that and where you think you're going to get picked, and sometimes you can get let down. So I kind of just went into it with an open mind and knowing that, a year ago from today, if I thought I would be even close to being in this situation, that I would be, more than happy with that. So I kind of just went in with that mindset and just was going to be happy with whatever happened.
All right, here you have Darius-Garland, guard, 5th pick overall out of Vanderbilt. Only played 5 games there, but he did average 16.2 a game, 3.8 rebounds, and he missed most of the season due to the torn meniscus, but apparently he is okay right now. 2 things. When you were at Syracuse, you got to know John-Beilein a little bit. Did you ever wonder if he could coach in the pro level?
All the time, yeah. I wonder about a lot of the top-tiered coaches, and I always had heard in the past that Dan Gilbert and the Cavs had looked out to other college coaches. Tom Izzo was the one that kind of famously happened, Calipari as well. It surprised me which one they went with, but it did not surprise me that they did go to the college ranks.
Here's Dylan-Windler, 6'8", 200 pounds, 22 years old, 21.3 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, and 54% field goal shooting. And 3-point shooter, pretty good, 43%, was suspended during the season. That's Kevin Porter Jr., was suspended during the season due to personal conduct issues. By the way, they have to get rid of this drafting guys and then they're on different teams.
Yeah, the NBA has it screwed up completely. The NFL doesn't have this problem. This is one of the things where progressively, like the NBA, should be at the forefront. Instead, they're lagging behind. And their commissioner, Silver, he knows that this has been criticized. It's illogical. And the fact that you're up there, seeing reports, so you're basically they're steering you away from the actual television broadcast. Right. You're seeing reports about what's going to happen with these guys, and then you find out later. It's very anticlimactic. One other thing just dawned on me. I didn't notice this until now, even though the draft was last week. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe I'm looking too far into it. You tell me, Les, because you're pretty good at deciphering these things. The Cavs drafted a player with the name Port in the last name. Makes sense, right? They drafted a guy with the last name, Garland, and Windler, the name Win. This is perfect, right?
Perfect for what?
I have a theory. I don't know.
Oh, I have a theory.
Yeah.
Here, I have a theory. Cleveland Bill has a theory. Since the Cavs drafted 3 shooters, will they end up adopting a run-and-gun offense like the old Paul Westhead Loyola Marymount teams, or perhaps the less manic recent Golden State squads?
Look, I'm not going to read much into the way or the style that they're going to play basketball, or even the way that John-Beilein coached it in college. The NBA is a totally different animal. I know everyone said, well, he loves to go with the guards in college. Look, the NBA is changing, it's evolving, but they are early in their rebuild. You know, for as bad as they were last year, they were not that young of a basketball team. They still had a lot of the guys that were supposed to be veterans to help them. This year, they will be one of the youngest teams in the league, and that's regardless of what they do with Kevin Love. So I'm not reading too much on whether guys match, whether or not there's a chemistry or a cohesion. That doesn't matter to me this year right now. It really doesn't.
Can you see the 2 small guard offense, which will play offense but won't play defense, put on the same floor as Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, and somebody else?
Well, there's a possibility. I still wouldn't rule out the thought that Tristan Thompson gets moved at some point. I think Jordan Clarkson is going to be someone they're dangling. J.R. Smith will not be on this team this year, whether or not they cut him outright or whether or not they trade him. And then Kevin Love has come up. He has surfaced in a bunch of different trade scenarios. The reason, and I didn't think this would happen so soon, the fact that Golden State is in flux and people around the league are starting to pay attention to how open this league is this year,
right?
I think there now is a chance where a team says, you know what? Kevin Love is pretty fresh because he missed so many games last year. We know he's going to be able to shoot the ball no matter how long he plays in a game. It's not like he got by on explosion or athleticism. He's going to be able to still shoot from long distance to create space on a floor. I could see teams out there like the Portland Trailblazers, maybe the Denver Nuggets say, we could win this year. Look at what happened with Toronto last year. They stole a championship. Why can't it be us? But you need another player to do it. The Cavs are sitting there with Kevin Love.
Well, they stole the championship because they won enough games to get home court advantage.
It was huge. It was absolutely huge.
Absolutely, no question about it. 216-575-0403. Before the show started, Anthony asked me if I'm still going to Sokolowski's every Thursday. Yeah. You going to join me?
A time-honored tradition. Yes, I need to get back there. I'm ready for the pierogies.
There you go. Of course, they're in Tremont, 5 minutes out of downtown. Take the Abbey Avenue exit out of there, established in 1923, heading toward the 100-year mark. I'll still be talking about them on their 100th anniversary.
That's amazing to think about how long they've been around, and yet customers have been coming back for decades.
Absolutely. The other thing, and you've been there at night on Friday and Saturday nights, you think it's an older demographic. It's really a little of everybody.
And not only that, great bar and a great beer selection and one of the best views in Cleveland.
No question about it. Sokolowski's University Inn. We'll come back in a moment. Anthony-Lima with us. You hear him, of course, on 92.3 The Fan. Back in a moment, exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
This date in sports history, June 24th, 1922, I covered this in a meeting in Canton, Ohio. The American Professional Football Association renamed itself the National Football League. How'd that work out?
Yeah, you know which fell second? The Arena Football League. Thank goodness that didn't get selected. That would have made no sense.
Or the bleacher. What are we calling our arena now?
Oh, Rocket Mortgage?
Yeah. Instead of arena football?
Just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it does. All right, let's take a look at this date in Les-Levine history, sports history. It's 1964. Les gets hurt in a game. Had to miss another game 2 days later. His Brush teammates sent him a card telling him to hurry up and get better by a vote of 9-7.
There's a majority.
It was a majority. Close. He had an Electoral College. How come the Electoral College never has a good football team?
I think they used to try to pay the players. Like LSU, apparently.
All right, we of course have the emails, or rather the Facebook. We ask a Facebook question of the day. Today we said, which new head coach, Ryan Day or Freddie-Kitchens, is going to have the better 2019 and why? What do you think before we get into this?
We're going to have to steal this for Would You Rather tomorrow morning.
You can do it. Give me credit.
That is a great question because both are set up to have big years. Both have major question marks. I have no idea how good of a coach Ryan Day is. And he is, unlike the last two Buckeye legendary coaches,
Right.
Myron Jim Tressel, not a Buckeye. And Freddie-Kitchens, I mean, he was the running backs coach a year ago at this time. And I know we love all his interviews, and I know the players absolutely love him and swear by him. But can
Or
you be
swear
honest?
at him.
Well, I don't think they have to yet. But other than the fact that he's got a loaded team with a great quarterback, do we have any idea Freddie-Kitchens can actually coach?
No. When it's flying down to 2-minute warning, one timeout.
And by the way, didn't necessarily love some of the offensive scheming against the Baltimore Ravens at the end of last year in a game that they were trying to win.
Aaron Wood says, I think Freddie will. He's new to this, and the Browns have a lot of talent. I also think it'll be a good year for Mayfield. Hope he throws more TDs than last year. Trent Harrop. Freddie will have a better 2019. He coaches in the NFL, shares the blame, and is considered a success, winning 60% of the games. Try that at OSU.
Have you seen OSU's schedule, though? Unlike years past, they don't have the big Oklahoma, they don't have a USC or a Texas game.
Good point. Carl Brunstetter says Freddie has a lot more work with as far as talent to work with. Glenn Berger says Ryan Day will have a better 2019 as Ohio State always schedules a few cupcake teams on their schedule to start the season. The Browns will have a tough schedule throughout the year. No easy games in the NFL. Will Freddie-Kitchens be equal to the task? Rick May says Freddie, he's got a quarterback with some NFL experience. The Buckeyes have no Haskins or no urban domination over TTUN. You know what that is?
That's state up north.
The school up north on the sideline. And Dennis Davis says Ryan Day because there's no Indiana or Illinois on the Browns schedule.
Well, boy, that's interesting. The scheduling breakdown. Look, no matter how good of a coach you are, whether you're Bill Belichick or you're, Hugh Jackson, you're going to be in a ton of games, and a ton of games are going to be decided by one possession. That just won't be the case for Ryan Day until you get into the meat of the Big Ten schedule.
Yeah.
Their Big Ten schedule was beefed up this year. Out of conference, not so much. So he has a chance to get off to a 5-0, 6-0, 7-, 8-0 start.
Explain this to me. Ohio State had a big recruiting weekend where you're allowed to invite guys to this barbecue on Ohio Stadium's field. How is that whole thing legal?
I never understand these things, and I gave up trying to understand. There was a time when I was at Syracuse covering the Orange where if I were to buy a kid a shot at a bar, a basketball player, that is a violation. And so there are all sorts of violations, especially if you're a booster, if you're an alumni. There's so few things now, and yet there's never been less oversight or an enforcement mechanism in place to try to take care of these schools.
All right. Before you were Sports Boy Tony, or at about the same time, I was at WHK, and we had a news update, and it said that, remember Mike DeAndrea?
Oh, yeah.
Mike DeAndrea and somebody else, another West Side Cleveland guy, they were going to make their announcement the next day. And I said, well, I hope it'll be Ohio State. I get a letter from Geiger, Andy Geiger.
Andy Geiger.
The
R.I.P.
He was the
Athletic
man in
director,
charge.
yeah.
And he says, I'm considered a booster because I went to Ohio State, and that's all. Just because I went to Ohio State, I'm a booster. I'm not allowed to do that. Or the Ohio State, would get fined, not fined, but some kind of bad stuff would have happened.
And
that doesn't seem right.
And that's before the digital age where this stuff gets projected out to a global audience immediately. NCAA has their hands full trying to keep up with all of this stuff. And you're about to see the story with LSU. There was a bagman, there was a booster. And we know this stuff's been going on forever. Absolutely. We know it's been going on forever. But, you know, it's really hard. The NCAA can't be everywhere at once, and they only have so many people investigating for them.
Glenn Berger of Strongsville writes in, he says, Les, before the Indians went on their trip to Detroit and Texas, you predicted the Indians will go 8-2 in the next 10 games against Detroit and Texas on the road and then against Detroit at home. Great prediction by you. They went 8-2 in those 10 games. Great call, Les.
13-6 in the month of June, and all of a sudden, offensive output. Now, let me play devil's advocate on one thing, because we're all excited about the way they've been playing. Obviously, I am too. But if we're going to sit there and continue to belabor that there's no way the Minnesota Twins are going to keep up what they've been able to keep up, and for the most part they have, a few slip-ups here and there like any team, can I also get out there and say Jason Kipnis not going to do this all year?
Yeah.
Carlos-Santana's having a career year. I mean, this is... people in Philly have to be going, what is this guy?
And
so do you think Carlos-Santana is going to do this the rest of the year?
No, and do you think they can keep pulling guys out of Columbus to pitch?
Right. I mean, that has been incredible because it's eased the sting of all the games missed. And then I don't even know, like, so Corey Kluber is going to come back. Is Corey Kluber going to be any good when he comes back? Are we just assuming?
I saw him after the game yesterday high-fiving with the bad arm.
Yeah, and he was not actually picking up a ball yet, but he was in, which you think at some point you're going to be able to do.
All right, when we
he
come
was in
back
there in the bullpen trying to throw.
When we come back, we have a ton of How Come Quickies that are sent in, and you're going to have to vote on.
I'll grade them
on one of them, or two of them maybe.
Okay.
In the meantime, you can check us out on the Voice of Truth and Reason, voicemail of Truth and Reason rather. Call us anytime. You can do it from 6 to 7, but of course from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Whatever, 24 hours a day. Call anytime, leave a message, and we'll use it on a future show. That's the voicemail of Truth and Reason, 216-200-6650.
The best ones come in after 2 in the morning.
Yes, they do. We'll come back in a moment right here exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
My basement was a disaster. We tried carpet, we tried tile on our uneven basement floor, but nothing worked.
Moisture, dampness, even flooding will not harm Nature Stone. And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of June and save up to 50%. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, Bud Shaw, WKYC.com, joins us. You see us live from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and then you can archive it any time of the day or night on cleveland.com. 216-575-0403. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine with new content posted each and every day. We'll get to Dan and Hubbard momentarily, but I want to get to this. Cleveland Bill says the virtually 50% remade Younger Indians have turned into a weed-like team that just won't go away. If the kid outfielders and kid pitchers keep producing, this year they may be still young enough for a comeback.
I am fascinated by the discussion of whether or not they have a better chance to catch Minnesota or win the wild card. I know that sounds silly, right? Because right now they're in the lead. They're the second wild card team.
There's too many teams involved.
There's too many teams involved, and I find it hard to believe that one of the disappointments in baseball this year, the Red Sox, are going to continue to be doing this the rest of the year. Plus, they'll take on a bad contract. They'll add to their team.
But they still have to beat out. They still play New York and Tampa quite a bit. All right, this is for Cleveland Bill keeps writing in. He's got some How Come Quickies. You ready?
Let's go.
How come after 6 seasons of success, the Mission Impossible television series wasn't renamed Mission No Problem?
7.
How come when the kindly congressman got a trampoline for his young assistants, he was accused of flipping the pages?
That's a little dirty. I'm going to say 4. This is a family show.
How come after his first year as budget director, Richard Edward Scissorhands was criticized for cutting corners?
5. Not so timely.
This is from, I'm not sure of his name.
What? That many quickies?
I gotta,
wow.
Yeah. From M. Hoff. I think that's Mitch in Kent, I think.
Moorhoff? Oh.
Hey, Les, how come the new student at salsa dance lessons brought tortilla chips to class with him?
5.
How come if 2 vegans get into a fight, is it still called a beef?
9.
9.
I like that one.
All right, this tells me it's Mitch from Kent. It's the same guy. He's taking credit for the last 2. How come the anesthesiologist? What is it?
Anesthesiologist.
Anesthesiologist.
That was my past job.
Offers knockout gas or a whack over the head, and either or choice.
It's a little cumbersome to get through.
Yeah.
That's a 3.
Hi, Mr. Gullible says, how come I couldn't remember how to throw a boomerang, then it came back to me?
That's a 10. No, 9.
No.
9. Sorry, we can't go 10.
Mr. Gullible also says, how come most people are shocked by what a lousy electrician I am?
6.
And now it's time, on this one, John Patrick, add the 2 together and divide by 2. So, like, if one's a 10
Sure.
and a 9-2, that makes it a 10-6 or whatever
We'll
that
give him
number is.
an aggregate.
John Patrick with his daily double. How come I don't know how old my dog should be before I tell him he's adopted?
Okay, that's
All right, hold on.
Okay.
How come the clairvoyance meeting was canceled due to unforeseen circumstances?
All right, I'll go 8 and a 7, so 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
Still pretty good.
Yeah. Man, you're getting a lot of these. And not so many recycled ones, like in the past.
I think somebody, and I'm not going to name names, somebody found similarities on the internet somewhere.
They found a list?
They're not called How Come Quickies, but they're called something else. I only caught one that actually went.
Let's go for some new topical ones.
Let's go to Dan, who's in Hubbard, Ohio. Hello, Dan.
Russ, you put me on hold for all that. Anyways, how you guys doing?
Doing well, Dan. Good to
I
talk
have
to
a
you.
couple questions for both you guys. First of all, what do you think of them releasing Martin like they did?
I wonder why they waited so long. You know, they did the class act when he got sick, but you know, now it's time to help the team or not help the team, and he wasn't helping the team.
Guy got his last rites read to him last year. It was one of the great stories that not only was he living, that he came back to the Indians, and then the story kind of fizzled there after that. Still good. Hey, still amazing.
No, I mean, a horrible thing happened to him, but hey, it's Major League Baseball. You gotta.
It's a business.
It's a business, and if you think that now you can easily say, well, we had to switch a pitcher around, we had to do this, we had to do that. No. Francisco-Lindor did the right thing. The guy didn't hustle, and now it's, you know, if Francisco-Lindor doesn't hustle one night, it's not a big deal. But when he's calling out players, and he didn't wait till the game was over in the locker room, and I applaud him.
No, but I have to say, it was a big deal in Lindor's rookie year that there were some vets who were upset that he didn't run some balls out, and they talked to him, and Francona actually brought it up at the media, and he did that strategically. So Lindor remembered that and brought it back to the equation with a player who should not have that issue.
And by the way, Francona was very happy to see it happen. He had Sandy Alomar go break it up. He didn't go break it up at all. So I think not that it was planned, because you don't know the guy's going to not hustle for you in the first inning, but I think Francisco-Lindor did the right thing. And by the way, as I think that Baker Mayfield did the right thing on the Duke Johnson thing. I know some veterans didn't like it. Hey, that's how you establish being a leader.
I don't want to interrupt, but and I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. But he's getting out of control. I mean, him slamming the Texas quarterback kid and all that. Just grow up and leave that stuff in the past. I mean, he's got to. I don't mind the Duke Johnson thing at all. I understand that. But the other stuff he's been running, I don't know. I wish that was stuff.
What other stuff you talking about?
Well, when he was talking about the kid from Texas, the quarterback from Texas. You know, do you see that online about?
Yeah, he bashed him, and he said, "Look,
good and all that stuff." And
yeah, he bashed him and said he's not a winner. He didn't win at Lake Travis.
Yeah.
He's not winning there.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Dan, I got to tell you something.
But anyways,
I've never
my
played.
other question is Zimmer?
Hold on one second.
Again?
Hold on one second. I've never played at that elite level, the only thing I need to do is if I'm up in competition against Anthony, I got to go psych myself up to do it. Baker Mayfield and players like him, many players like him, need that extra. They need that to get themselves up for games. They need to be above everybody else. They need to be thinking it, waking up and feeling dangerous.
Superior.
They need it.
I understand, but to pick on a college kid that's a junior in college, I just thought.
Okay.
That was too much.
I do have a
That's my
theory on
opinion.
this.
Hold on, Anthony has a theory.
Dan, I have a theory on this.
Yeah.
go ahead.
When those two who are separated by a few years in college have some sort of a beef that goes back to their hometown, I think there might be some.
There might be a girl involved.
There might be another lady that
issue maybe somewhere.
might have been an issue.
Hadn't
That's
thought
reckless
about that.
speculation. I'm aware.
Now back to my Zimmer question. I told people last year when he was gone we'd never see him again, and I got a distinct feeling we're correct. And
setback after
do you
setback.
Do you think that the Yankees would bite on giving us what's it called back if we
Clint
took Brad
Frazier?
Hand in the puzzle? Getting Clint Frazier back. I mean,
Clint Frazier
there's a
might
kid
be
that's
maybe the worst
283 with
outfielder I've
11
ever
knocks,
seen.
and he goes down because they have no room for him.
I think they
I mean,
would
I don't-
dangle him, yeah, especially to get someone like Trevor Bauer. Absolutely, I think they would do that.
I think you could get a king's ransom for him.
If you're the Indians, you need more than that, but yeah, I absolutely
Well, yeah, I
think
mean, he'd be part of the puzzle. I mean, maybe they do, I don't know if they'd trade Bauer. Well, I don't know. I'd take Brad Hand before I'd take Bauer, but.
If you heard me earlier, Dan, what I said was that if you thought they were good enough to beat the Twins this year, and maybe for whatever reason you don't do it, there's no reason that you shouldn't believe that they could do it next year. Why would you break up the team? If you're going to be good, you're going to need that elite closer, and Brad Hand is that elite closer.
Well, I think you can find closers, though, Les. I mean, we
That guy's
I didn't think
22 and
our best
0.
other than Hand was going to be anything this year, and that's one of our bright spots.
The question
I
is,
think the kid that throws underhand, what's his name?
Simber. The
Simber.
question
Adam
is
Simber.
what these guys are
I
going
don't
to be
think
in a
he'd
year
be a
or
bad
two.
closer.
How many closers completely fall off in a year or two? Look at Cody Allen.
Most
Look
of
at
them
Andrew
do.
Miller.
Most of them do. And by the way,
they go quick.
By the way, and Dan, we're going to have to go. Thank you for the call. I've always thought, I have a theory, I've always thought that closers are more of a victim of or recipient of who they face in the lineup. If they come in and they face 6, 7, 8, that's
As
a pretty
opposed to the
as
top of
opposed
the
to
order.
2, 3, 4, and if you're getting a 2-run save or a 3-run save, that's kind of bogus too.
So you're trying to explain maybe how finicky, how inconsistent these guys are over time, because we saw it with Andrew Miller, was one of the dominant guys in Major League Baseball, was critical to their success in 2016 and almost winning, the World Series.
Right.
Maybe would have had a chance
But not
at an
every
MVP.
team has a guy like that who can pitch any inning.
But look at this, just a few years later, he's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how quickly it goes for those guys.
All right, that'll do it for us. Great job by Anthony-Lima. You can hear him on 92.3 The Fan from 6 until 10, along with Ken Carmen. I'll be there the 3rd. They gotta give me enough advance warning these days. I'll be there the 3rd.
That seems pretty good.
So I don't have to do anything till July 3rd.
I think you'll be okay.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks to all of you. Welcome back to Brian, who got married over last week.
Congratulations. I had no idea.
Congratulations to him, absolutely. All right, that'll do it for us. I'll see you tomorrow night with Bud Shaw. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.